This conversion kit for the MTZ-762 battle rifle speeds up the weapon in almost every category, including fire rate. All of the buffs to your speed give you the ability to be more mobile around the map, opening up a more run-and-gun style of play. The best way I can describe this weapon is just, it's odd. It's definitely a curious case that we'll have to talk about in a second, but before we do that, I upload every day to this channel. Like and sub down below if you enjoy the class setup or the rest of the video, but let's talk about those attachments. We have the Jack Heretic Carbine Kit, big buffs to your mobility, handling, rate of fire, and then it says recoil control and gun kick control. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't know if I'm faded or if I'm just not understanding how this gun works, but if you come into your details, it says there's a pretty big reduction to your recoils across the board. I just didn't see that in practice. I don't know if these numbers are wrong or if I just don't straight up understand how the weapon works, but the recoil got worse in my opinion, and I had to stack it with other recoil reduction attachments. Recoil attachments such as the SA Leveler 55 muzzle device. This one is pretty heavy on the horizontal recoil. I feel like that's the gun's biggest issue. If you can mitigate the side-to-side recoil and just focus on pulling the gun down when you're shooting, I feel like it gets pretty okay, but the side-to-side recoil and the up-and-down recoil together make the gun almost unusable. And then doubling down on the recoil attachments, we have the MTZ Factory Rear Grip. It's firing aim, stability, gun kick control, and recoil control. And the reason we're choosing this one over any of the other attachments is because there's no downsides that it's willing to tell us about, at least. It's just a straight-up recoil buff. For the underbarrel, I have on the X10 Phantom 5 hand stop. This is where we're going to get some speed back from the weapon just to offset all the recoil attachments, although we do get some recoil with this attachment. If you want the gun to be a little bit more of a laser beam, use the FTAC MSP98 hand stop, or if you want to go balls to the wall recoil control, try out the Bruin Heavy Support Grip. And then last but not least, we have on the FSS OLV laser, again just trying to get some speed back for the weapon to offset all the recoil penalties. If you don't really care about the gun being slowed down by all the recoil attachments, take off the FSS OLV laser and throw on an optic. Alright, well let's see where this conversion kit takes me. This one's a bit of an odd one. Because, like, it's not bad, but it makes it not as good as just the base MTZ, which is awkward. Where did that guy go? Oh my god, the entire team is in here for what reason? It just makes the gun awkward, honestly. Like, the battle rifle's strong suits are that they do a lot of damage, and while this thing is still a 4-shot kill if you hit a headshot, which is cool and all, it just makes it less consistent. And then add on that you have to stack it with recoil attachments to make it, like, somewhat usable. Not somewhat usable, but, like, to make it the most consistent, you have to stack it with recoil attachments. Like, I don't know, it's odd for sure. Like, the base MTZ-762 is better, and a lot of the assault rifles are just better too. Like, it just makes everything more awkward than it needs to be. Like, in my opinion, it takes the gun from being one of the better weapons in the game just because battle rifles are strong as hell anyway, and just makes it like a middle-of-the-pack assault rifle type weapon, which we don't really need. We already have a bunch of middle-of-the-pack assault rifles. Like, where are the spawns? Where is everyone spawning? Like I said, if you hit that headshot, it's cool, but if you don't hit the headshot, it just becomes a really awkwardly long 5-shot kill. Again, just comparing it to the battle rifles and everything. Plus, the recoil is really weird. I don't know why the recoil is so weird. Like, if you use the weapon, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about as you use the weapon, but trying to explain why the weapon is weird isn't really easy to do, because I'm rambling about the things that are bad about the weapon, but at the same time, the weapon itself isn't bad, but the lobbies tonight have been bad. We'll talk about that. I've been playing for, like, maybe 90 minutes trying to figure out classes that work and everything like that. Trying to get a good build of this weapon, and just every lobby tonight has been like a scrim. It's been so weird. Like, we're at the point tonight where, like, a good lobby for me is getting 30 kills, because that's just how sweaty everything is. Oh, you're my teammate. Homeboy's still over there going for wallbang kills. I respect it. Like, if we're being completely transparent for a second, the base MTZ-762 is the better option. Just because at least you'll be guaranteed have good damage and everything. The one positive about the conversion kit is that it does have 30 bullets by default, so that makes life a little better, but like not enough to write home about. Like, I'm gonna say right now, on pace, I'm not gonna be surprised if this game just ends up like a 35 kill game. Just because that's how, like, awkward everything is using this weapon right now. I don't want it to sound like I'm complaining, I'm just trying to give feedback on the weapon, and unfortunately for me, the feedback isn't necessarily super duper positive, but I get... What? I spontaneously combusted. Where was that thrown from? From... What? From the building I spawned in, then I spawned where that guy threw the nade from? Alright, fantastic. Revenge spawns are lovely. If I have to give you a, like, a breakdown of the weapon, it's not bad, but it's unnecessary. Probably the best way I can describe the weapon. Not bad, but it has no purpose being in the game. Like, it doesn't do anything better than any other weapon, and it's not necessarily doing anything worse than any other weapon, it's existing. And the way you have to build the weapon, from my experience at least, is that you have to run it with basically all recoil attachments, because if you sacrifice one of those attachments for like a red dot, the gun just gets more and more unusable the more recoil it has. And we're like talking not a lot of recoil either, it's just... Okay, these spawns are stupid. I have 3 guys that just spawned in the back of that base. Let me get out. Alright, the spawn should be... No, they're not. Wow, good nade. I was gonna say the spawn should be back to normal, and they should have been spawning in the building behind me, but nah, they're spawning in this building where I have my teammates. Dude, these nades are elite. Can't get my ammo box. Love that for me. Who needs ammo anyway? And this is a good example of just how the matches have been tonight. Like, they're odd. Like, every map is going to time limit and not score limit. No one's actually pushing anything. It's just... Like, yeah, just... It's not worth my time to keep playing because the matches just aren't going to get better. And I'm not delusional. I'm just going to accept that. Like, the matches are weird and they're going to stay weird. I said I was going to finish with 35, I got 34. Like, yeah, that's how every match is going tonight. So, this will probably be the gameplay you see just because it had the best commentary. But, like, final take on the MTZ 762 conversion kit? Not bad. No real purpose to use it.